Alright guys, welcome back to some more Miskatonic. And last we left off is we're supposed to go to our room, I thought. And then go on our first actual, I guess, security run around the university. But we left that room, the last room we were in. And now we're kind of in the staff dormitories, I suppose. And we have all of these people to speak to, so we're just going to make our grounds. I think I might just skip. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll go with Nutty Annie first. So where were you last night? I snuck into your room, but you weren't there. Oh, just off on a secret mission, New Orleans. Hidden keys, dark revelations, tragic tales, that kind of stuff. Top secret, probably didn't hear about it. Wait, why were you in my room? I don't know, just for talking. You're pretty much the only person to talk to me, other than my brother or the lunch lady. And that's usually about, lunches. That's probably because you're incredibly annoying. Besides, the only thing you talk to me about is trying to chomp my butt. Yeah, it's good dynamic we've got, ain't it? Yeah, it's not bad. Alright, it's always a amusing interaction with Annie there. Okay, next. Charlotte, thanks for the help with my archives. Care to add them to what? Care to add to them with another secret? Let me think. Well, the reason my hair is like this so I don't accidentally use my eyes on something. If one of my eyes is covered up, it seems to lessen the effect. Weird, huh? Oh yes, I've heard about your magic eyes. I may have a small experiment for you tomorrow, so don't go poking them out before then. And remind me to build a Charlotte ward for my archives. Sounds like fun. See you around, guys. Okay. Oh, we do need to talk to our friend, so let's do that. Why'd you leave the coven to work here, Drummond? Well, that's the cult of Shub-Nagal's motto. Preach harmony and compassion, for the universe offers neither. Exactly. Try to make the world a better place, because it's incredibly shitty. And that's what these guys do, man. But rather than being nice and helpful to our neighbors, they're creating vaccines, technology, all that kind of stuff. Miskatonics on the frontier of occult science, and working here means you get a part of a collective of history makers. Trust me, Charlotte, they'll remember us when these guys cure cancer or polio or tentacle. Yeah. Well, that makes sense to me. What about you? Why'd you decide to work here? Same reason I became a witch. I really like all that creepy bullshit. Rumman seems to think these guys are on the level. And if I go blabbing about what I saw in New Orleans, could lose my job. Maybe it's just a handful of nutty folks performing weirdo experiments outside of the university's eyesight. But then again, it's a whole faculty dedicated to it, with a tunnel leading there and warning signs and stuff all over the walls. No way. This was a legit operation, and I'm gonna find out who's at the top. I would imagine we will. Okay, next group. So what have you been working on? The rediscovery of one of the lesser species of lith. It appears to be a form of black, sentient cloud, though occasionally forming random, solid shards or icicles in its core when under severe distress. The Yithians seem to use them as a form of nourishment and humor, torturing them before they inhale the smoke. The odd thing is one of the last chapters of the manuscripts, the Lithians write that clouds communicate in a human language. I've seen Hyperborean writings describing the human soul as floating black spikes, funneling enough sounds like the two might be related. It would mean that the first pre-human contact with the Yithians, I guess, was situated in the lush jungles of the Arctic. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think we've got an expedition to plan. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, we got her all by herself over here. Our school's swim team each has a custom-made swimsuit to suit their needs. Their needs, of course, being the strenuous limbs or mutilated proportions most of them have. What is it? What is a swimsuit? A suit that you wear when you swim. I'm starting to get the impression that witches are the odd ones out. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I suppose we need to go through this doorway, which also is labeled takeoff, so I don't know. Eldritch Library. Okay, do we need to go to the library? I don't know. Let's speak to them first, though. Okay, Simon Longfellow says, So how was your internal zombification and negative side effects? Any negative side effects? Nope, it was pretty smooth transition. Oh, I did figure out a cool trick as to having my intestines falling out. Oh yeah? What's that? Just grab them and rip everything out. Works like a charm. My torso is completely hollow now. That sounds like literally the worst thing that can happen to a human being. But if a dumb idea works, it's not a dumb idea, I guess. I guess not. Okay, let's speak to her. Do you know our library holds records of every encounter with Yog-Sothoth, the horrific god of eternal knowledge in human history? Wow, how many encounters have we had? None. Weird, right? Oh, maybe that's why there's so many goofy fellows around. No knowledge, God to give them some knowledge. Huh, that explains a lot. Okay, I guess we'll go into the library, guys. Oh boy. Hello, Wobbly Bum. Fancy meeting you here. Indulging in some light reading, are we? Well, I was going to check out Tentacle Tactics, a desertion on regaining control on rogue transmutation circles, but I've lost my appetite for knowledge. Oh, these? White chocolate and sugar paint. I just make these in the kitchen to remind me of home, you know. Wow, really? No. Engineering department exploded, remember? Means I get to pick out. Awesome. Thanks, Annie. Okay, I guess we didn't need to really go into the library. I'm not sure exactly where we need to go. This looks new. This looks new. Cult science entrance. Okay. Well, let's speak to everybody first. How do you survive the engineering explosion? It took out the whole department. I was in the garage across campus. It's one of the greatest things about being a mechanic. You don't spend a lot of time trying to invent a better wrench. because you're too busy overcharging for spark plugs and peeking at a pinup calendar. Gotcha. We had a pinup calendar at the Coven headquarters once. And by pinup calendar, I mean a spell of the month calendar. And by headquarters, I mean Susie's house. And by once, I mean every year since I was 9. Alright. Speak to him again, I guess. Avrimar, thanks to our efforts in the Corporeum, wet preternatural medicine has advanced 200 years. New England's mutagenetic atmosphere has gone from a catalysmic Armageddon to a mild mutational nuisance. When I was a kid, I saw a guy whose face was a butt crack. Alive and well, thanks to the Corporeum. Alright. Okay. Does the creative writing teacher seem a little weird to you? Whenever someone answers the question wrong, his eyes start pouring with blood. Blood thing's a little disconcerting. But when the class starts, clutching their heads and covering their ears to drown out the shrieking, that's what gets me. Huh. That creative writing teacher is either some sort of banshee or just a huge douchebag. Alright. We'll go into the entrance, I suppose. It's got to be somewhere from the occult science department. Who's responsible for extracting brain goo from the people? Best to keep my spoon in here for now. My snoop in here for now. Jeez, sorry. Right, I guess that's not where we need to go. I'm not sure exactly where we do need to go. There's the Corporeum. I'll speak to everybody here first. I'm going to take my 2 weeks holiday to go work on one of the skullcrackers. Sailing around Ryla has got to be the easiest job the Miskatonic offers, right? You know, they call it the Nightmare Corpse City for a reason, right? Because it's a nightmare city filled with corpse. For a city filled with nightmarish corpse. They say that about everything. They said that about my Milwaukee. I bet it's a nightmarish city filled with equally nightmarish corpse. But then again, I've never been to Milwaukee. Alright. Yenren sickness. What? Yenren sickness, China. Causes the victim to see a pair of glowing eyes in places of pitch darkness. Sufferers were terrified of falling asleep. Nodding that the eyes seemed to get closer whenever they looked away from them. The worst sufferers saw them even when they had their own eyes closed. Whatever that plague, Italy, scriptures and texts were being hidden inside Italy's most popular newspaper crossword puzzle. Those that completed the crossword were rewarded with terrifying revelations of the birth of humanity, most being driven insane by their new knowledge. Domestic earwig, New Zealand. Excuse me. Simple earwig that crawls into victims' ears at night, but makes sounds of horrific, muffled screaming and violence. Sufferers thought that their neighbors were literally murdering each other, many trying to save contented wives by murdering innocent husbands. The male population of New Zealand halved over the weekend. Ooh. Well, that one wins. Okay, guess we'll go into the Corporeum, guys. Hey, guys. Whoa, what's the wiggling meat slab? That right there, a piece of Cthulhu's skin. Charming, ain't it? Grody. But I thought Cthulhu was like some huge alien god. How'd you guys get a huge chunklet of him? Well, he might be a huge alien god, but he still is corporeal. Okay. Funny story. There's a lost underworld in the Pacific called Rylith that used to act as the prison of Cthulhu. Cultists spent a couple thousand years trying to get him out of there, but a few years ago, some Norwegian whaling crew accidentally let Cthulhu out of his cage. As Cthulhu chased their yacht, out of desperation, the crew decided to ram his face with their boat. They caused Cthulhu's head to explode into mushy goo, disabling him, but his head slowly started reforming the moment it exploded. Smart fella then immediately told the Miskatonic, who now employs a fleet of icebreakers to continually drive through the mushy remains of his head, stopping him from reforming and destroying the world. Sounds like a fun gig. What are the Wiggles doing? They point towards the rest of their hosts, desperately trying to reform. Nowadays, our supply ships use small pieces of Cthulhu flesh to point the way to the Rylith. Awesome. Thanks for the biology lesson. Alrighty-roo. We're just gonna go through the next door. We're at the Ethereum now. I'm not sure exactly what we're supposed to be doing, guys. I thought we were supposed to be going on a security run, but not sure exactly, so here we go. I hear the faculty's heading to Dunwich in a couple of days. Need the locals to help build a new portal. Whenever I hear the name Dunwich, it puts a grin on my face to know that however tough my job gets, at least I'm not a portal diver. And it puts a smile on my face whenever I get my portal diver's paycheck. Damn shame your job of standing in a hallway ain't so lucrative, huh? That's got to be a pretty big paycheck if it's worth a face made of buttholes. Jeez. Can't speak to them, I guess. Extracerebral sentence seems to be a common factor outside of the human race. Even when decapitated, some of the creatures seem to function with some control over their actions. It's a difficult thing to study, at least if any have qualms about cutting the heads off of a diverse selection of adorable animals. Really hope those guys have qualms about cutting heads off adorable animals. All the qualms. Okay. Last group here. So is there anything else I should know about nature and its communal consciousness or whatever? Yeah. Don't eat carrots. They hate it. Communal consciousness. That's a cool idea. It would be a lot easier to spread harmony and everyone was connected at the brain. Then again, it'd be a lot easier to infect people with the asshole virus. Probably for the best that we all think for ourselves. Indeed. Guess we'll go into the Ethereum. Ah, yes. How's it hanging, wall man? What say you and me get out of here? Hit the town, grab some street food. Could go for a foot long. Awesome. Please don't encourage the Eldritch barrier protecting the western hemisphere of our planet from our incredibly volatile experiments on the original Necromanicon to misbehave. Ah, sorry. I'm just fooling around with him. What you be working on? Currently, the effects of applying samples of Necromanicon parchment to heated patches of human flesh. Hmm. Oh. And sample of parchment actually scribes the entirety of the Necromaниcon's contents onto subject's skin, essentially making a new copy of the book by tattooing the subject's skin. Or, scarring. And the people you doing this to are okay with that? I don't know. That's not my department. Why? Never mind. See you around, Jess. That experiment sounded pretty nefarious, but nothing about brains and goo extraction. Better keep an eye on it. So I guess we're just doing investigating? Is that what we're doing? I don't know. We went in there, so we're just gonna go here. Okay, Bob's office. Okay. Maybe we'll gain some results as to what we need to exactly do, guys. Did you hear? They canceled the liberal arts program yesterday. Liberal arts? That's like the study of a little bit of everything, right? Why'd they cancel it? Well, you can imagine studying a little bit of everything here at Miskatonic. Oh yeah, I guess that would be a little suicidal. Alright, speak to them. Having a brain composed of ethereal ooze does have its drawbacks. Last night I lost some goo as it had dripped off the rain, and I forgot everything I learned in college. Wow, how much ooze did you lose? About half a teaspoon, but the only thing I learned in college was how to play beer pong. Huh, these guys have brain goo pouring out of their heads. I wonder if it's the same brain goo as the brain goo we discovered. But these guys have purple brain goo, whereas the stuff I found was orange. Are there multiple colors? Color flavors? Maybe. Alright, who did we speak? The whole group, I don't know. They're all kind of compacted together, so I don't know. What's up, Charlotte? You're looking a little frazzled. It's nothing. Wandering the halls, listening to what folks are working on. Wandering more halls. It's a weird job. Well, if it makes you feel any better, you make us feel a lot safer. We haven't had an accident in the whole building since you've been here. See you around, Charlotte. That's because most folks are just starting around in the hallways, standing around in the hallways, talking about board games and diseases and shit. What are they waiting for? That's a good question, right? Dr. Thirst Valentine might come off as a little apathetic towards the plight of humanity, but he gets it, and that's what we need at the frontier of occult science. He gets it? What does he get? He gets that sacrifices have to be made, both from inside the university and outside of it. It's a nice thought to think that all humanity needs a little love and tenderness, cult girl, but love doesn't cure blight pox, does it? Bye now. Well, I think I just made a breakthrough in my investigation. If Thirst thinks like that, it ain't hard to imagine that he'd be fine with kidnapping folks. And if Menes agrees with his methods, maybe other scientists here do too. Maybe. Alright. Oh my. Ah, Charlotte, finished with your patrol. Okay, so we were actually on a patrol there. Alright, I wasn't sure exactly. Yep, all quiet on the Eldritch front. Awesome, it's getting late and most of the staff tuck in early, so you can take the rest of the night off. Great, I guess I'd better go back on everyone. Wait, great, I guess I'd better go get on everyone else's body clocks. Then I'll be in my room if you need me. Well, I'm no closer to figuring out who's behind the brain goo, but there are a few folks acting suspicious. It might just be a dark humor, a coping mechanism, but it sounds like some of these guys are fine with gruesome shit happening to innocent people. I mean, it's not like there isn't plenty of gruesome shit happening to innocent people out there already. But that doesn't excuse kidnapping people and collecting brain goo. First thing tomorrow, I'm gonna find out who it is. Mindy in the morning. Good evening, ladies and gents. Mindy here, wishing you all a pleasant and fulfilling evening, pushing the boundaries of occult science with little regard for ethic or consequences. Oh, shit. Don't tell me she's done this every night. Oh, don't tell me she does this every night. And now, everyone's favorite part of the show, Mindy's Muse, giving you cheerful and uplifting stories from around the world. Uplifting in the sense that it reminds people that our precious little university isn't actually a bastion of liquid shit and human suffering compared to the rest of the world. At least, not the worst one. Firstly, there's been reports of sightings in rural Russia villages of a strange new supernatural species described as bipedal. Bipedal, okay. Humanoid constructs, roughly 15 feet tall, with a skin made of thin, clear glass. Strangely, these glass men appear to be stuffed with loose, random human organs, extremities, and entrails that all appear to be working correctly. Open hearts beat, unconnected intestines, masticate, severed hands wrinkled their little fingers. These creatures will wander silently into local villages, take a person's hand, and walk back to the forest with the people too petrified to protest. Our local Miskatonic correspondent Dave Chumley ends his report form for the personal notes section with, oh God, this is the freakiest shit, oh God, she walked away with it, oh God, one of them has a fetus in his head of, oh God, it's breathing, get the fuck out of here, hilarious. If you think trained Miskatonic operators being frightened like tiny babies by walking lunchboxes is fun, reports from Paris state that the latest operation to clear the so-called void from the catacombs of Paris have ended in disaster. That god the peanut butter girl worships. Shit's bizarre. The only survivor of the 14-man operation has said that the void once again crept into the minds of the agents, stating that the three that turned into shotguns on themselves turned out to be the lucky ones. He went on to describe that the deaths of the other 10 men to our university liaison is what can be only described as a puppeted trance, including bashing their heads against catacomb walls, tearing their eyes out of their filling sockets with gunpowder, and simply chewing the flesh off of each other's faces until, in a hollow voice, he told the liaison, "Don't come back." He then proceeded to swan dive out of the French headquarters' second-story building onto the concrete below. Ouch. And from the other side of the world, there have been reports from New Zealand of a new supernatural insect infecting the populace. Right, the Airwick thing. Hear those guys joking about it. I guess she's not gonna stop talking about creepy bullshit. Might as well try and sleep through it. The creature seemed to carry no physically deliberately illnesses, but while puppeteering in the victim's ear, will generate the muffled sounds of screaming and brutality, making victims believe their neighbors are viciously attacking each other. Thousands of people have already been murdered in an attempt to save imaginary spouses from imaginary violence. Local Miskatonic correspondent Sasha the Basher Coombs had to say, "Just kill her already, I just want to sleep." Aha, Sasha, silly bullocks. There is no her, and talk like that gets you a visit from the Miskatonic's in-house sensitivity trainer. She tried to sensitivity train me once, back when you were allowed to flirt at work. I had never done it before, but the cute lad from the literature department said he was uncomfortable when I sat opposite him with a bowl of spaghetti, stared at him and screamed, "This could be us," before throwing my head down into the meal. That would have worked in England. Long story short, sensitivity training can suck my spaghetti. Man, I still feel the branding iron on my back, the ice water hosing, the bloody speech. This'll learn ya not to be sensitive or insensitive. I can't do it. Wiping hot, dry dock chains across my dangling, broken body. Might as well call it a corpse, the damage on it. Still taste blood at the thought of it. Though that might be someone else's. Alright. Mindy in the morning. So anyway, that's why I'm convinced that giraffes are from another dimension. And that concludes Mindy's Muse. We went a little over the time slot, but that's okay. This has been Mindy in the Morning, signing off for the evening. Good morning, Miss Tonic. It's your angelic little ball of adorable Mindy in the Morning, bringing you all the morning announcements from across campus. 8 damn hours. Firstly, students of the creative writing teacher, Mr. What have you, have a day off, as Mr. Yup yesterday accidentally wrote his name on a blood-dipped parchment and subsequently opened a nexus to his cadaverous homeworld, swallowing the entire post office. Post office, of course, being rife with blood and parchment. Secondly, a reminder to the students and faculty in the biology department that the revolvers held in the wall-mounted glass cases are for suicide purposes only. Don't try to be a hero when little Sushi splashes herself with a rage virus. Let her do it herself, or let our security forces take care of her. There's a turnover rate in high school already enough, and our woodworking teachers are complaining about the amount of coffin projects they have their students working on. Security team is there to die so you don't have to. Aw, thanks, Dick. Finally, our Argentinian outposts have delivered to us a genuine Sogoth brain. Much to the delight, Dr. Thirst Valentine, the brain has been sent to the Caporium and testing will begin today. This has been your favorite morning radio host, Mindy in the Morning, with Miskatonic morning announcements. Alright, guys. Alright, well, hello, Charlotte. You are needed in the Caporium. Okay. I'll be there in a second. Thanks, Marie. Alright. Time to head to the Caporium, but an investigation's still on, so I gotta keep an eye out for mischief. Alright, guys. we went extensively longer than per usual in the video. I'm just trying to really plug into this story here. It's not even getting interesting. It's just remaining interesting. It's a very interesting game. Enjoying it thoroughly. Hopefully you guys are too. We'll be back with some more soon. And until next time, we'll see you later.